Well, hey folks, how's it going today? It is Thursday. I don't even remember. I think it's Thursday today. Yeah, I didn't do one of these on Tuesday, and I'm sorry for that. I had another early meeting, and that I kind of forgot about, and it ran late. So work's got to take priority sometimes. But here we are today. It's the 47th episode of this Hey Folks Coffee Vlog. I just want to share with you, I'm going to take some time and share with you what I've been working on. I've been sharing a lot of this stuff with my students and classes. Yesterday, I was going to introduce them a new project, but we've been doing a lot of SketchUp projects lately, and I wanted to give them a little bit of a break, take them out into the garage and show them kind of some of the stuff that I was working on, and actually do a little bit of live work with them. Stuff like that's important for students to be able to see and experience some actual work happening rather than just, theory and, watching, reading about it is what I'm trying to say. Especially with distance learning, it's been far less than ideal. We've been missing out on so much, and my class is at the core of it. It's supposed to be a hands-on class, but as you can probably guess, it's not like I can send tools home. There's safety issues, safety and supervision issues. If I were to send sharp things home, like I can't be there to make sure that kids are using them properly and using them safely. What happens if there's an injury? I can't be there to deal with it like I can in the shop. So we've been really hamstrung this year. But the next best thing has been, I've actually been having some classes out here in the garage and showing students some of the things that I'm working on. And yeah, it may not be perfect, but at least it's better than nothing. So they had a little break yesterday, and so I was working on this workbench, and I'll run you guys through the same thing that I ran them through. So I have this new workbench. If you've been watching my channel about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, it was over spring break. I was building the base to this thing, and it's basically just I was about to say cardboard box. It's a plywood box that has got a big front area cut out so I can sit here and put my legs in here and do little talking head videos and vlogs and stuff like that. One of my students said this setup reminds them of like a talk show. It does kind of feel like that. I did one of these the other day and had a plant here and my laptop here, and I felt, it felt very talk showy, and that's not a bad thing. It works for this sort of format. So what else I was doing yesterday was I was putting on some levelers, because this, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna actually show you what I've been working on here. Let me come to the other side of the camera and take control here. Whoa, don't get seasick. So this is the base, basically the base. And then I'm gonna try and see if I can squeeze in there. You can see on the corners there's some levelers. I got these heavy-duty levelers from Rockler. I am very fortunate that I live 10 minutes away from a local Rockler store. That's kind of the toy store. Oop, let me switch my camera back around so I can see what I'm doing. That's kind of the toy store for me. Might have to make another run back up there, but yeah, Rockler. I like my Rockler, which is, it's also funny because I got that safety sign from a Woodcraft that was closing down. So I got these levelers because my garage is not, it's not level. It's not anywhere close to level or even flat for that matter. And that has posed a problem in the past when I wanted to build something that's supposed to be level and flat and straight, and I don't have a good surface to key it off of. I mean, I've made do, but it's usually involved, trying to find the flattest piece of plywood that I can find and laying it out and hoping for the best. And plus, I just really just wanted a level surface that I could work with, and I can set something down and it's not going to roll all that far. I like this. I was worried for a second because my house is very uneven throughout the whole place. It's California. It's an old house. Things aren't as flat as they used to be. So it's really nice having like one spot in this house that's just level. I like it. So where does that leave me now? With this workbench, every good woodworker's workbench needs to have a vise. So also from Rockler, I picked up a couple of vices. So I got one here and one over here. This smaller one is going to go on the end, and that's going to be a front vise. So it's going to go on the left side here. And then this big one is going to go on the end. This is going to be my end vise. So I'm going to have two vices. It's going to be nice. Nicest to have vices. So a woodworking vise, basically, if you don't know, I mean, you got to know what a vise is. But in case you don't, it's basically just a device that holds your workpiece. Whatever you put in there, you crank it closed and it grabs it for you so that you can do whatever tooling, machine operation that you want to do, and it frees up both of your hands to safely do whatever it is you're trying to do. Very handy tools. There's ways to get around not having a vise, but it's always nicer having vices as opposed to just only having clamps to work with. One thing I didn't realize about this, underneath this table, I've got about 13 to 14 inches of clearance, which is perfectly fine for this small one going widthwise across my workbench. But I didn't, when I was designing this and putting this top on, I didn't really account for the fact that this is so deep. And so what I'm going to end up having to do is actually modify a little bit of the base under here and cut a big notch out of the underside. I'll have to take some screws out, but I can make that work. It's not that big a deal, but it's one thing that at some point when I was designing this, I thought about that, and I thought, hey, maybe I should make some adjustments, and then I just completely lost that thought, and and here we are with that issue. But it's not a big deal. I've got the tools for it. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take some of the screws out, notch it, and then put some screws as close in as I can just for stability. And it'll be fine. It's not really going to hurt anything. It's just something that, I didn't think about when I was making this thing. And then before I even do any of that, these things are going to have to get bolted up under the tables. And before that happens, I need to actually put the jaws on here. So the way these vices come, again, these are from Rockler. This is not a sponsored video. Rockler, they got rid of their affiliate program, which I'm kind of bummed about. But I don't know. Maybe if I keep mentioning their name, they'll bring it back just for me. Or do a sponsorship or something. I don't know. Hey, Rockler, talking to you. You liked my posts on Instagram, so we're halfway there. So anywho, we've got this vise here. What was I talking about? These need to get mounted underneath the table, but these just come with the hardware. In order for these to work, there has to be a piece of. I'll show you on this one. There has to be a piece of wood here. So basically, like that. Holes get drilled through this piece and basically thread on here. Here's some screw holes to mount this on here. And then you put another piece of wood on the edge of your workbench, and that creates the jaws needed to make this thing work as a vise. The thing is, though, I have lots of wood to use for that. You really want to use hardwood for that. I mean, this is a birch top, so it's got some strength to it. But I really wanted some hardwood vise jaws that aren't going to fall apart with use. If I try and use like a 2x4, that's going to get chewed up really fast, and that's not really what I'm going for. That you actually have to do a bit of work to make these. So I want these to last. I want them to be nice and solid. So I happen to have some really solid, I'm pretty sure this is walnut. It's the same stuff I made my mantle out of. And it's a good, I don't know, 3 7/8 or something. And not, what am I exactly saying? 1 7/8. No, not quite that far. 1.5 inch thick, 1.5 inch thick. So it's pretty solid. It's about the thickness that I'm going for. But the thing is, it's not super flat. Not that that's really going to make that much of a difference. Like, I could make these into jaws, and even if they're not perfectly flat, even if they're a little bit bumpy, they'll still work just fine. The problem is I have a few pieces that have a little bit of a twist to it. These shorter pieces are all right. There's a little bit of a twist, but that's actually not too bad. This piece is a little worse. I'm not too worried about this live edge here. I can make that work. But these longer pieces are a little bit. I can definitely see there's a bit of a cup there. So needing to straighten these out. This one, I think this piece, yeah, this is the worst one. So if I was, yeah, that's super. I need to take these corners down. So if I wanted to do a quick job of this, I would take this into work, and we have a nice big Oliver industrial joiner. It's like a 12-inch joiner, and this thing's long. This would make very short work of this piece. But I'm not at work right now, and yeah, I could go into work, but I kind of want to try this without it. And I don't have a joiner at home. Okay, I've got a planer, but that's not really going to get this job done unless I make a sled for it, which I could do. There's lots of options. Okay, so I could make a sled for my planer. It'd probably be the smarter option. I have a joiner sled for my table saw that I made. That could work. Well, that could work for the ends, but I'm not worried about that. Or I just do it the old-fashioned way with a hand plane. One of these things. I actually have a longer jack plane, but it's not set up, and I don't even know if I have a frog for it. But this is kind of how things used to be done with a hand plane. Hand planes are thousands of years old. I mean, they've been using things like these since Egyptian days, since probably long before then. So we're talking about thousands and thousands of year old technology. Some of the earliest woodworking tools, or varieties of stuff like this, being used to straighten, flatten, joint wood. So if they've been using it for that long, I mean, it can't be that bad. And that's the thing that when I get students in the wood shop, that's the thing that a lot of them get tripped up on, is they want to, a lot of them want to go straight into using machines, the big power tools and stuff, because in their mind, that's better. When they want to make a cut, they want to take it to the bandsaw and, cut out a notch or shave something down just perfect. And, that works sometimes if you've got the finesse for it. But machines generally, woodworking machines generally don't do anything that hand tools can do. Hand tools can pretty much do everything that a machine can do. It's just that the machines are better at repeating the same process over and over again, and they're faster. That's the only advantage that machines really have over hand tools, is repetition and speed. But that also means that they're faster at making mistakes. I have tried to sneak up on a cut, less than like 1/16 of an inch or less before on a table saw, and accidentally took too much. Same thing on a chop saw. It's so easy and quick to make a tiny mistake with a machine. It's a lot harder to make the same kind of mistake with a hand tool. With a hand tool, you get, assuming you've got the finesse for it and you've got a little experience with it, an experienced hand tool user can very finely sneak up on a cut and really get close up to where they need to be. Whereas with the machine, it's so easy to go just a little bit too far past that line, and once you cut it, you can't put it back, right? Same thing for fingers. Machines, it's not that you can't get injured with a hand tool. I've certainly got injured with hand tools before, but machines just do a better job at hurting you. They're faster and they're much more complete. Hand tools, you might cut yourself really bad. You might stab yourself, but chances are you're probably not going to lop off a finger or half your hand with a hand plane, like you could with a table saw or bandsaw or something like that. So where does that leave me? I need to basically flatten off areas of this. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Like, I don't need to get it glassy smooth or anything. This is going to be something that is going to get cranked and pressed tight over a long period of time. That's one thing actually I can do, is I can just crank it closed and kind of leave it there for a while, and the wood will start to form up where I want it. I just need to keep it from rocking like that, because part of this is going to have to get attached to the workbench itself. The other part's going to have to get attached to this metal contraption here, and they mostly have to meet flat in the middle. If I can get them to keep them from rocking like this, I can probably run it through my planer, just a couple of really light passes, and that'll just kind of smooth things out acceptably enough to be able to make these into jaws. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to be working on that in my class today. I've got to figure out a way to clamp these down. I have to plane this surface, so I think putting some low blocks here and clamping them to the table just to kind of keep it from moving side to side will be my best bet. We'll see how that goes. But that is the agenda for today. Is students are going to be watching me use a hand plane. This hand plane. All right. I hope this works out. Wish me luck. If it doesn't work, then my other options are to take these into work and actually use the joiner and just be done with it. But if I mess up with this may start getting too thin for me to use, so I may actually have to go to the hardware store, to Rockler, and buy some thicker wood and just start fresh. So, but then that'll probably be a little straighter. I won't have to worry about it. Anyway, that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm going to leave you. So y'all have a really good day. Oh, if you like my shirt, you can buy this. I have a link up in my my banner on my channel. It's a smiley. Hey, I designed it myself. Good times. All right. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.